And since we're on the topic of weird, no, not weird, you know what I'm saying? Or no, not weird, you know what I'm saying? This is something that I also find fucking extremely fucked up and, you know, interesting, right? So at the beginning of the month, right, I go to do laundry at a laundromat. Now, while I'm getting the stuff out of my fucking bags, right? While I'm getting the stuff out of my bags, I overhear, after everything's done and the laundry's put into the fucking machines and shit, right? I overhear a small conversation in the laundromat, and they're like, you know, blah, 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 blah. No, there's no weapon there. There's no weapon. There's no weapon. There's no weapon. He doesn't have a gun on him. He doesn't have a gun on him. Now, it's really fucking funny, right, that I overlooked this next part of this, all right? But at the same time, I'm so to the point of not even giving a shit, you know? So the bottom line is that around about that same time period, this is the funny part of this whole thing. I end up fucking drinking train water and fucking getting myself pretty sick, actually. It was fun times. It's been fun times. My bottom legs are almost the size of my fucking upper thighs, and I'm a pretty big dude. So that's really hilarious. Like, you know, like I have my little friends now that are like, you need to eat or we'll kill you. It's like, I understand. I get it. I understand. You know, I'll eat. I'll eat. Just can you please leave my body? You know what I'm saying? So anyway, so in the middle of, you know, fighting off I think it's dysentery, right? Or whatever fucking ancient fucking virus has been fucking formed on the train water over the years, because I didn't even see the signs until 3 days after I drank the freaking three mouthfuls of water, because I was so dehydrated. And yeah, so that was the funny part of the whole thing of me, like, so I'm sitting there slipping in and out of fucking consciousness at certain points, like, you know, because my body was fighting off whatever fucking I introduced into my body. But that's somewhat okay at this point. You know, my leg is still going in and out of swollenness, but, you know, most part, like, you know, I'm not like raising like weird fevers or anything, you know, and it's like, you know, that's cool. So the point being, right, is so I'm in this laundromat. And after putting all my stuff in the freaking laundry machine, right? This was in Patchogue. I hear the freaking woman. I hear somebody turn around and say, "Oh no, he doesn't have a weapon on him. He doesn't have a weapon on him. There's no weapon there, you know." And I'm overhearing the freaking conversation, and I'm like, "Okay, well that's cool. You know, I'm so happy that you're on point. You know what I'm saying? That, you know, like, you know." You think the guy with the 3 bags that just emptied out his entire fucking life on a fucking laundromat table, fucking just to fucking wash his clothes, would definitely be here to fucking obviously, you know, do more than laundry, like take out the dirt, you know what I'm saying? It's like dirty people. It's fucked up. It's fucked up. This shit's so fucked up. I swear to God, you can't even write the script on this shit. So the point is that fucking, so that doesn't even trigger me as anything bad, right? And due to the fact that I pretty much, like, this time, Jesus Christ, 007 poisoned himself with fucking dysentery. It's like, you know what I'm saying? So in the middle of, like, you know, semi-talking to ghosts and, you know, going in and out of fevers while I was trying to fucking get some sleep and rest, you know, like, so anyway, in the middle of all that, right, what's really interesting is that back in the day, just making sure that there's nobody really around to fucking hear this part, but yeah, back in the day, right, there was a location on the train where, although fucking it was a hidden location on the train where if for any reason a federal agent felt threatened, all right, there was a gun location, and it wasn't in one place. There was multiple ones located fucking from train to train. Now, when I was being shown this, okay, something that was being told to me at the time, they, like, you know, in other words, like, as I was being shown this, something was told to me at the time, which was that they were going to use what I was being shown and the location of where I was being shown to kill me, right? Now, that's all it was at the time. At the time, I was like 14, 13, 14 years old. So that didn't register in my fucking brain. You know what I'm saying? So what did I do? I fucking opened up my mouth saying like, this, they say that this is where this is fucking and blah, blah, blah. There was a whole big thing and they found a whole bunch of fucking crap and fucking, it was just a whole fucked up situation, right? Because nobody explained to me how possibly important this would be later on down the road, right? But I still remembered it. Because as of the time of a few weeks ago, when I was fucking basically, having a blast with dysentery, or something similar that was causing me, it was just lovely. I couldn't even get off the bowl, literally. And I just love the fact that my leg is like now the size of a tree trunk. It's like, it's like nice. It's like nice. Could probably kick through concrete with that son of a bitch right there. Anyway, Mortal Kombat. No, all right. So okay. No, enough with the jokes, right? So then, of course, there's the freaking, a couple weeks back is also when it's dawning on me that, the dude who was going around New York City was shooting fucking homeless people, right? Just thinking that, like, literally, probably like 10 to 15 minutes prior to his like first victim, he's sitting there having a conversation with me, asking me for a cigarette and talking to me about how there's this homeless problem and blah, blah, blah. And then they find out after they arrest this dude that, he's going from here to Washington, D.C., back to here, back to Washington, D.C., back to here, meaning New York, Penn Station. This is actually Ronkonkoma. But it's funny, right, that all this shit is in my head, amongst everything else that's in my head. And then amongst the, the fact that at that point, I'm like literally just trying to fucking off myself by drinking some train water and fucking giving myself, a fucking bacterial fucking disease, probably, or God knows what other fucking ancient fucking parameciums I fucking stirred up in the fucking thing. So the point being is that amongst all this, I noticed something is really interesting, but I catch on to it, and then I'm saying to myself, it took me like a day to catch on to, like, took me like 3 days, 4 days to catch on to it, and I just didn't open my mouth till now. That, it's interesting, because this should have already been alerted, right, to the people who know about this shit. So the place where they would keep the fucking handgun for a federal agent, right, just in case they needed that during a time period where they might need that. It's really interesting that I noticed that a few different trains that I got on, seemingly, I thought it was just one train. I thought it was just one train that I got on, but seemingly it might have been a few different trains that I got on. That location was completely ransacked. And I mean ransacked. And I'm saying to my fucking self, like, it wasn't just the fact that it was in something that was inconspicuous, and it wasn't the fact that it was just like, it was on top of that, it would have been behind something that was also inconspicuous, and then, on top of that, there would have been another lock on top of that, right? So I find it so fucking interesting. That around, he's talking to a bubblegum rapper. It's so fascinating. Anyway, so the point being is that freaking, that's the fucking point, is that I'm sitting there and I'm saying to myself, and now, I got my little wits, so I'm still saying to myself, like, at any given time, let fucking something, I'm like, I'm good to go. You know what I'm saying? I'm so sick of this shit. I'm so sick of this shit. I'm like, fuck this bullshit. But the point being is that I'm pretty sure that they don't keep that there anymore, because supposedly the location was changed, if I remember correctly. But I don't even know if they're using that anymore, period. But it's just funny how back at the laundromat, somebody was talking about, what seemingly was a conversation that seemingly was oh, he's got a weapon, or maybe he has a weapon, but we don't see a weapon, blah, blah, blah. And then, like, a few days or around about that same time period, the location of where one of these things, one of these federal, you know, to protect a federal agent's life, just in case somebody was following them around, location, someplace where a kid would not be able to easily access, or anybody else for that matter would be able to easily access, let alone fucking know about. And the only reason people knew about it even slightly back then was because of the way that it was told to me back then when I was shown. But that's the whole point. It's like, so I'm just, and because I'm sitting there and I'm like, wow, dude, this, wow. You know what I'm saying? People got their fucking hands on files of something, you know what I'm saying, man? It's crazy. That's how crazy that is. I'm just like, what the heck? I'm just like that fucking kid last night. I'm just sitting there like, you know, and that's the whole thing. Like, a few days back, I was in such a fucking pissed off mood because I'm sitting there being like fucking somewhat followed around, and I'm like, and I just fucking went off it with midair, just getting in the shit out, and freaking somebody took it personal, and then they started, oh, he's just pissy because, and I'm like, I'm not. It's not just pissy, because it's not just this. It's the fucking kid. It's the fucking kid that was shot up here, right? Then it's the fucking dude that fucking went off on everybody in the fucking city and shot up the whole fucking thing in the city. Then it's the fucking, and how all of that is seemingly fucking somewhat fucking linked. And then on top of that, there's all the other shit that's going on, right? And I'm just like, wow, dude, I'm like, you know, but then just to think, like, fucking last night, like, I'm just like saying to myself, like, this kid, what the fuck, you know what I'm saying? Like, he had to have known that she was going to check his ticket. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just weird how he was just sitting there waiting for her to fucking ask him. And then she's asking him for his ticket and all this shit. And then fucking he goes off on me. I wasn't even saying anything to this fucking kid. Like, I was just like, oh, man, I feel bad for this kid. And then he's like, oh, I never see you check his ticket. I was like, wow. So this has been the interestingly strange fucking few days. I'm just like, wow, is this shit gonna happen, son? I hope somebody lets my fucking daughters know I wasn't a bitch. You know what I'm saying? I hope my sons know that I wasn't a fucking bitch. I am so sick of this fucking bullshit crap. You have no idea. You have no idea. And personally, I could fucking I can give myself, fucking give me my money. Get me my fucking money so I can go fucking defend myself somewhere fucking peaceful that I can see somebody coming from a long fucking distance, man. Fuck this bullshit. Bullshit. It's bullshit. This is bullshit.